Peace. 12:22. It's right on time. I think it's on time. What you think? Peace and blessings. Welcome to the 33rd Universe episode. We about to kick it with my partners and my folks. Close the door. If you hungry for some knowledge, yeah, you got it. Here we go. For my leaders and my queens, we building on Astro. Peace and blessings, family. It's late night, man. I'm on the late night tip. Let me see if I can get my camera right. Yeah, there we go. I'm on the late night tip, so we just vibing out tonight. I wanted to talk on Astro, as we always do. But I've been studying aspects, and I've been studying transit, so I wanted to get into some things that I feel like will help others. Let me share my screen. You can't really see that, but that's my webpage, moredreams.com. I got a few things on my menu as far as my readings go. I've been doing readings. I'm pretty successful lately. I've only been doing hour readings, so kind of like basics and introductions to your energetic signature. Your energetic signature is how you operate energetically in a rhythmic or a cyclic pattern. It's all in patterns. And astrology identifies patterns and helps you to identify the future by looking at the past in patterns. So I wanted to walk through my Saturn Return and a few years after that and show y'all a few things that I noticed. And maybe it'll help y'all, looking through your chart and identifying patterns, because once you identify past patterns, you can identify the future. Well, yeah, man, y'all tap in. I got readings. We're going to do astrology readings, natal chart readings. We can do transit readings, which pretty much means how the energy today is affecting you, or how a certain energy for the future will affect you. And certain things that you can look out for in your day-to-day, because identifying energy is all about harmony. Once you identify, you're able to harmonize with that energy or leave the energy alone completely. If you're not able to harmonize, you can avoid it, or you can maneuver a particular way that'll be less destructive. So that's my service to the people. Help people identify their energy. Help people get breakdowns on understanding their family, understanding their home, their children, their career, their partnerships. Identification is the key, family. So let's identify some things tonight. I want to go way back to about 5 or 6 years ago. Saturn Return. Saturn Return is a very, very, it's a heavy energy, very heavy energy. Saturn returns around 29 to 31, that age bracket. Saturn returns to the place that you were born at that place, at that time. So around those years, Saturn locks down in all its lessons, and karmically, some of the things come back, because Saturn is completing its cycle, and the 12th cycle is all about Pisces and karma coming back, so that you can clean up for the next cycle. The next cycle starts fresh. So anything that loose ends that you left throughout the first 30 years that you were living, which is a lot. It's a lot of fucking karma coming. So some people have heavy transformations in their Saturn returns. Saturn returns can be painful, but after the pain, the reward comes and the understandings and the structure and the discipline is enforced by Saturn, and you now have learned a certain discipline that Saturn has tried to teach you. So it's ultimately for the greater good. But that first 30 years, you're looking at a return in Saturn in that location where you were born. So you'll have all kind of weird things happening, especially if you're on the wrong path like I was. So I just wanted to go down that road with my 30s because I was spiritually awakening, but I was in the wrong relationship fields, in the wrong friendship fields. And Pluto, Venus, and all the different planets that are here to help you maintain a ascension on this earth, they all were here to rectify the situation. Rectification is needed because sometimes you go blindly down the road and you get lost and you can't find your way. You need somebody or something to pull you out. So I like to think that I was pulled out of a darkness when I was dealing with my Saturn return. Saturn is in my 7th house. 7th house is about partnerships. 7th house is about judgment. 7th house is about understanding and being able to provide what is needed in that social realm, in a loving aspect and in a aspect where you can lend a helping hand to a family friend or just a person that lives around you. You know what I'm saying? Those are 7th house energies. And I have 7th house. I have Saturn in my 7th house. Also Uranus. So I have a heavy partnership energy. Heavy lessons were handed out to me. And coming up on my 30th birthday, I was in a relationship that was not conducive to my future. The relationship was not bringing me happiness. It was not bringing me the inspiration and the fulfillment that was necessary for a strong black man to go out in the world and be successful. So Pluto was there to save the day. Good old Pluto. Pluto transforms, and transformation is key in every aspect of life because you don't ever want to stay the same forever. You want to get better at doing the things that you do. So if you smoke weed, you want to get better throughout the years. You don't want to be smoking mid and rolling up in Bible paper. You want to get better as the ages go. You know what I'm saying? That's my analogy. But if you are in this matrix requires transformation and the ability to identify the past to get further in the future. You know what I'm saying? So me being in a relationship that was not conducive, not helping out, a lot of different things began to happen. So let me see if I can pull up some aspects from my list. Here we go. Those are some aspects from a few months into my Saturn return, my 30th year on this earth. And you can see it's real small, but I wanted to put them together but you can see them all. But you see Chiron sextiling Venus. You see Chiron sesquiquadrant to the natal Pluto. You see Pluto semisextile midhaven, Pluto quintiling natal Pluto. It's a lot of different aspects going on, but you see Chiron going on all through there. Chiron sextiling natal Venus, Chiron squaring natal Uranus. There's a lot of energies, but those ones I just named were all pretty important to my transformation, because overall that picture describes me going through a violent transformation that is going to affect some of my old wounds, maybe even create new wounds, but in order to get me to the next level of my life. And it was very painful when you deal with Chiron sesquiquadrant natal Pluto, because the sesquiquadrant is pretty much a square, kind of like a square, and the square off is kind of like a fight. So Chiron, the wounded healer, goes up against my natal Pluto. So a lot of hurtful change was well overdue. This day I got into a altercation with my ex girlfriend at the time, and the altercation led us into a huge court situation and a huge breakup, a whole bunch of different things. But it led my life into a new path, a new angle, a new awakening, because Chiron is the wounded healer, but the Pluto is all about transformation. So with these two involved, you have a awakening coming, because the reflection on the wounds throughout your life, maybe even past lives as well, come up, and they are able to be reflected upon. You see Chiron sextiling my Venus as well. Chiron, the wounded healer, dealing with my Venus. So it's changing the way that I deal with love, and it is opening up some of the wounds so that it can clean them out, heal them up, bandage them, and so that you can go on with your life. So Chiron squaring your natal Uranus, that means something wild is going to happen dealing with the wounded healer. So if you just notice all through here, Chiron is in my space. So that awakening is apparent. The awakening is there. And around this time I was creating a list of like goals. I was creating lists of things that I wanted to do. I was starting to buy books, Black Studies, and just starting to watch Hidden Colors, and all these different awakenings was going on. And I was trying to relay these awakenings to my current partner at the time, and they wasn't relaying quite so well. She wasn't responding to the awakening like me. So it was very dampening on my spirit, and it was no harmony involved. And over the years and over the time, the depression that I started to sit with was harmful. I started to get depressed, and I started to get in a place where I was uninspired, and my family and my people around me could notice it. They would tell me and pick up on the vibe, but I was so deep in it, I didn't even know that was going on. But like I said, this day here was the start of a new awakening. And you go a few months down the line, I meet my wife, my present wife. Pluto trining natal Venus. That right there is very key to transformations in love, or starting anew in love, and coming to a understanding of the things that you appreciate, the things that you find value in are changing, and maybe even the circles and the friendships that you are involving yourself in are changing as well. And April the 29th 2017, I met my wife. I met my wife in a group, in a group of friends, a bunch of childhood friends I have. And you see Pluto quintile in my natal Mercury, Pluto quintile in my natal Pluto, and Chiron down there semi-sextiling natal Sun. So Chiron still involved. Just a few months later, this is just April. So the awakening period is still involved, but the transformation of friendships, values, and circles are upgrading. And I had a major falling out that day with a whole group of friends that were really close in the previous years. I was close with in the previous year. But the values that I was coming upon and the awakening that I was coming upon didn't serve in that circle quite well. So these planetary transits involved themselves in my transformation. Pluto being the main one. Pluto, I'm learning, is kind of like the fighter of love. You got Aries is a Mars and Scorpio is a Mars. But Pluto is attached to Scorpio as well. So like I find that whole Scorpio energy, they're fighters for love. A lot of times Scorpios will investigate a whole situation involving their partner to find out if they're cheating or to find out something about their past to make sure that they're good for them. And they'll go to war for theirs. That Pluto energy trining Venus is assisting my Venus. So those energies brought my wife. And we met that day and hit it off perfect. It's like we met it, like we knew each other forever. Now, granted, we did know each other beforehand, but we never had any type of real dealings. But this day we had the major connection. So I'm just sharing these different slides so y'all can kind of see how things transform in your life. And this is gonna be a short live. I'm gonna get off in a minute, but the Pluto trining natal Venus, again, this is a different day. This is November the 26th, 2019. This is 2 years later, and this is the day that me and my wife get married. Pluto trines natal Venus. It's helping Venus again. So the fighter for love gets me married to my wife, my twin flame. You can see Chiron Pluto semi-sextiling natal Uranus. So that's another transformation in the way I represent myself. And that ties into my natal chart because Uranus is in my 7th house. And if y'all know anything about my wife, she is an Aquarius type of energy. She is the Uranus energy in my 7th house. So if you notice, the connections are all in the chart, and they all play out in a planetary conversation. It's just all about how you are able to identify the patterns. And I can go on for, days and days, and if I pull your chart up, pull a day up involving your energy, it will show particular aspects, long-term aspects and short-term aspects that affect you subtly or not so subtly in your day-to-day in this matrix. So I really wanted people to get a grasp on how these aspects really affect the way we walk and talk and shape our day-to-day. If you could understand the aspects, you could possibly prepare yourself for the rain. You know what I'm saying? We check the weather every day, right? The weather tells you it's going to be hot today, put your shorts on. Or it tells you put your galoshes on, it's going to be raining. Put your hard hat on, it's going to be hailing. Whatever the fuck they be lying about on fucking Weather Channel. But the difference is you can look at these natal transits, you can look at these on a day-to-day, and you're able to peep the weather. That's the real weather forecast, because this is what you need to be harmonizing yourself with. We, as humans, as beings, sentient beings on this earth, we affect the weather anyway. So the forecast for the weather is bogus, because the way that the humans' emotions move, just like the way the current moves in the water, the way that the humans' emotions move affects the way that the sun comes out, or affects the way that the hurricanes come about, or the way the rain that comes about as well. So I want people to understand that the Weather Channel is bullshit. I watch the Weather Channel just to make sure I got on enough clothes, but ultimately we affect the weather. If we want the sun to come out and shine bright, if we have our alignment and harmony with the nature, we're able to command those forces. So these are some of the first steps in keeping up with what's going on with the weather. Tap in for a weather forecast, aka reading. Everybody's giving out reading, and I understand people are waking up to the knowledge. Most people are privy to giving out readings, so I want people to take advantage of those people that give out readings and are servicing the people to help others understand their energy, because as we understand our energy, we pick up the knowledge and awareness of how we navigate through this matrix. So that's just the basics. Once you figure those out, you're able to enhance the life that you have on this earth. And that's all we're here to do. Pluto is here for transformation. So make sure you use the transformation for your benefit. If you transform into something lower and worse, then you'll be going back to repeat some of the same problems. And some of you women and some of you men out here dating the same people over and over and over and over again, not learning the lesson, not getting over the humps that require you to deal with an awakening, which means stop dating people. Stop fucking dating. Date yourself. Learn what the fuck you like. Learn what the hell is important inside yourself and your being. Learn these aspects and figure out how you are affected by the planet. Become aware to alignment, understanding the best ways of alignment, understanding the best ways of grounding, creation, all these different aspects and elements. Learn how to master the abilities that they allow. You know what I'm saying? Quick little lesson, man. I just wanted to tap in and tell y'all that these aspects are real. These alignments are real, and they're very exact to the degree. This is just basic, and I could have got deeper into the degrees, and the degrees determine what type of lessons that you're involved in based on which constellations are involved and which houses. So it gets very deep and very, very intricate. You need a reader to break this down. I'm your boy, 33rd Eye, 33rd Universe. We live on, and moredreams.com you can reach me at. So tap in, man. I really appreciate y'all tapping in. I've been getting people inquiring about readings. They've been getting readings. So it's all love. I really appreciate it. I want to service the people best way I can. I'm a busy man. I got a busy life. I got kids. I got a wife. But I want to be service in any way I'm needed, because I understand my purpose and I understand my walk. And God has me on a spiritual walk for teaching. Become a teacher and enlighten the people. A lot of people get on live and talk. A lot of people get on live and do their thing. I really like that people are waking up and have something to say. Some people don't have important things to say, but we're getting there. We're learning how to express ourselves first. That's the first thing. Once you learn how to express yourself, then we get into expressing ourselves in a form that is a higher octave. And that's all about climbing the chakras. So meditate. Just sit with yourself. Deal with your being. See what comes up, what resonates as you sit with yourself. Don't play the radio when you get in the car sometimes. Just ride. Don't answer the phone every time it rings. Put it on silent sometimes. Let the distractions go away. Give yourself the ability to go within, because the answers are within. And the better harmony that you keep with the planet. That's why I'm sitting outside. I love it out here. The better that you're able to align and harmonize, the more you're able to resonate with the truth. The resignation of the truth involves you to harmonize with nature. And that's why they don't talk about going outside no more. You know what I'm saying? We used to always be outside as kids. Be black as hell in the summer. These kids want to stay inside and look at the iPad. They've been conditioned and trained to do so. It's not a coincidence. So let's revert back to our old ways outside. Nature has the answers. Peace, y'all, man. I'm gonna tap in later throughout the week. We'll go live again, but I wanted to make sure I go live, send my little message and aspects and transformations and understanding the chart. Peace, man. Y'all have a great week. Blessings, love, and harmony. One.